Hey there, Ben. Hope you're having a great day today. This is your video lesson. Let's see here. One thing I want to talk about. I'll talk about that thing, and if you have questions, I'll be in the studio until Friday night about 9 o'clock. So if you have questions that you want answered right away, make sure to get that over to me by then. If not, I'll be out Saturday through Monday, and then I'm going to pick back lessons up on Tuesday as scheduled. And if you get back to me next week, that's totally fine too. So what I'm going to talk about today is I'm going to build off what we talked about last time. Last time we talked about relative major, relative minor, how that C major and A minor are the same scale, really, from the same note pool, that is. So when I look at the notes of A minor pentatonic and C major pentatonic, they're exactly the same collection of notes. There's no difference. So then what does that, to review, what does that mean as far as relative major, relative minor, and how is one established over the other? And the answer being is that's a couple things. One is the foundational harmony. What are the bass player and rhythm guitar player doing? They have a huge say in what's going on in the tune. So, for example, when we were looking at, or actually the one I was just playing over top of, Whipping Post, that one's in A minor. So the tonal center with the chords and everything. So the rhythm players are playing A minor chords, the bass players are playing A minor, the keyboardist is also playing A minor. So therefore, I'm going to want to target the notes of the A minor arpeggio, and A and C being one of them. And then the other is in Casey Jones, how the C major chord was the starting and stopping chord, and the one that was revisited all the time. So that establishes that as C major. So in one case, A minor is being played a lot by the rhythm section, and then C major, the rhythm section is playing a lot of C chords. So that's kind of usually my dead giveaway, is to whether it's A minor or C major. And what you can actually do in both of those situations, you can actually land on either one of those notes. As long as you resolve them correctly. Over top of Whipping Post, what I was doing there was I was kind of flipping back and forth between making this C right here my landing spot, and then making this A, because I'm in that box one, right? The old faithful box one. And I was just constantly landing either on that A right there or this note C right there. So how to find the C's, and that should be the goal for this week and next week too. And to do that, we go to another magic triangle. We already discussed root 6 magic triangle, which was this guy. So if I find the notes on the 6th string, E, F, F sharp, G, G sharp, A, there's my A right there. This is the magic triangle for root 6, because that starting point's on the 6th string, root 6, starting on the 6th string. I also have one for finding notes on the 5th string in another position. So in this situation, I've written out right here, magic triangle root 5. This is a movable template. This will work for any note that you're trying to find on the 5th string. So what I'll do is I'll go to the 5th string, open, that's A, right? Let's talk for another day. We go A sharp, B, C. There's my C right there. I use my octave box trick. Down 2 strings over 2 frets gives me the same note. Right? And then the other thing is that there's another note out here, but that's kind of a jump. So I'm here, here, and then I gotta do this big jump out here and grab this C that's out in this position. So how to find that one easily without kind of doing a bunch of mental math is I use the C chord trick. So in the first case here, I use the octave box trick. Down 2 strings over 2 frets. For this one, I use the C chord trick. So I play myself a C chord, and I find the C on the 5th string, and then I find the C on the 2nd. Hey, there it is. It's right in the chord. I don't have to do too much thinking. So depending on what note I'm trying to find, I just move a C chord around and go, oh, there's an E, for example. Here's an E. Oh, there's an E. Oh, there's that magic triangle. So use that C chord trick to help you find notes that are on these higher strings that aren't quite as intuitive to know. So what I would like you to do this week is take a song. I'll just play Whipping Post one more time because it's right here. Yeah, there you go. It's a good jam. We should do this one at some point. Like that one, like Layla would be a good one once we get to that point. Yeah, all great songs. The whole Fillmore East album's great. But, oops. How am I distorting? Probably help to turn the input down on this. Maybe that's better. All right, so, and then I'll turn this down so I get to watch me fiddle with settings. There you go, that's better. So what I'll do first is I'm just gonna play C notes. Just get a lay of the land. Where is everything? I'm not trying to make anything crazy. I'm not trying to reinvent the wheel. I'm not trying to become the next, Dwayne Allman. I'm trying to find where stuff is. And I might sit there for, when I was first learning this, I would probably sit there for a good, good 15 minutes just playing like one note on my fretboard. I do that root 6 version of it, play the C's up here. Right? So in that case right there, like I said, I'm not trying to reinvent the wheel. I'm not trying to be super creative right now. What I'm trying to do is find where stuff is. And that's real good practice right there, because I could spend the next 20 years trying to play licks I already know. I'm not going to get any better. But if I go, okay, well, I need to know where the note A is or the note C is on my fretboard, and I spend a couple of days practicing that, then when I go to solo, I've already done the hard work for that part of it. And then we can start getting into the creative aspect. Once you know where the fingers go and they you don't have to think too hard, then that opens up the mental space for being creative. So that's what I would do for the C note. And then what I would do is see if you can find those C's in the box 1. Right? So I might go, okay, well, I did wait one second, that's on the 5th fret. Hey, how about that? Hey, there it is. Wait a second. Hey, there's C, right? I didn't have to do all some kind of crazy counting up. I just found C here, found this one here. Go, oh, that's in the box I already know. Right? So when I play my solo over top of it and go, okay, I'm just gonna keep things real simple. I'm just gonna play, literally 4 notes right there, right? This is an example. You can play wherever you want, but this is just an example of how I go about doing it. Oh, there's my C. Oh, there's an A, C. And I'm just gonna see if I can target those individually first. I'm gonna target A now. Right, and obviously I was doing something that we haven't talked about yet. Not to be like that's probably not my best solo I've ever written, anywhere near it. But just me fooling around, I spent the time wondering where this stuff was. Right, it wasn't like I woke up like, hey, it's a note C. Yeah, but I play guitar. How about that? There is a note C. I don't even have to think about it. It's just like I'm good at it. It's weird, right? It wasn't that. It was like literally like C, 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 C. And once I got that down, then I could start making some cool stuff with it. But I had to do the part that people don't like doing, which is the hard work. So, but anyway, practice that this week with a backing track, probably Casey Jones. I couldn't find the one we used, so that's why I just pulled up Whipping Post, and practice finding your C's all over the fretboard. And then after that, then you could do like very simple lines, like a 3-note sequence, just try landing on that C, and then what you're going to do is you're going to train your ear to go, hey, that's a cool thing to do. And then if you do that enough, you won't have to think about why you do it. You'll just kind of do. But that takes thinking before you do. So anyway, work on that for me. If you have questions, like I said, you got my attention till Friday, and then I'll be out for a couple days, and then you can just message me anytime next week if you have questions. If not, have a great Memorial Day, and I'll see you the following week. Take care, man.